Okay, so you've definitely heard the buzzwords flying around, right? Crypto, NFTs, the metaverse. It can all feel a little much, but all of that stuff is actually part of this bigger idea called Web3. So, what is it really? We're going to cut through all the noise today and get to the simple but super powerful idea behind it all. Let's jump right in.
But before we dive in, let me ask you something. Just, think about it for a second. That last photo you posted, your profile, basically your entire online identity, who really owns all of that? I mean, who's actually in control? The answer to that question? Well, that's pretty much the whole reason Web3 is even a thing. So the internet we're all using right now, that's what people call Web 2, the read-write internet. It's awesome, we can create stuff, we can share stuff, but there's a catch. The platforms we use, they're owned by these massive companies. And that means our data, our content, well, we're kind of the product. Web3 wants to flip that completely. It's about a simple, but honestly pretty radical shift to a read-write-own internet. That last word, own, that is everything. It's the whole game. It's about you going from being the product to being the owner. All right, so let's quickly talk about the world we already know like the back of our hand. This is the internet of Instagram, TikTok, Google Docs, all of it. And look, it's an amazing place. We get to create and connect with people all over the world. But like I said, there's a catch. Here's a really good way to picture it. Think of your social media profile like it's your own apartment, right? You can decorate it however you want, post stuff on the walls, have your friends come hang out. But here's the thing. You don't own the building. The social media company does. And that means they can change the rules whenever they want. They can lock you out of your own room or even decide to demolish the entire building. And you don't really get a say in it. Okay, so what's the alternative then? This is where Web3 comes crashing in with this huge, exciting idea. It's a vision for a whole new internet, one that's built on a totally different foundation, actual, real ownership. Web3 is a vision for a new version of the internet where you, the user, are the owner of your content, not the product. I mean, that quote just nails it, doesn't it? The whole goal here is to basically rebuild the internet from the ground up so that the control and the ownership are with us, the users, the creators, instead of a handful of giant companies. It's a huge, huge goal, and it's all made possible by some seriously cool tech. So the big question is, how does this all actually work? Like, for real? Well, it all comes down to a few key pieces of tech that make up your Web3 toolkit. Now, I know these words might sound complicated or intimidating, but trust me, the ideas are actually super simple once you break them down with some easy analogies. First up is the blockchain. Okay, forget all the crazy technical jargon for a second. Just imagine a digital notebook. But this notebook is special. It's been copied and shared with thousands of people all around the world. Every time someone adds a new note, it gets added to every single copy, and it's there forever. No one, and I mean no one, can go back and secretly erase it or change it. It's a public record that isn't controlled by one company. It's kept honest by the entire community. Next in our toolkit, we've got smart contracts. And honestly, the best way to think about these is like a super trustworthy vending machine. You know how it works. You put your money in, you hit the button for a soda, and the soda comes out. It just works. Every time. It's an automatic agreement. Well, smart contracts are basically just that, but for the internet. They're little bits of code that live on the blockchain and automatically do what they promise to do. No questions asked. You don't need a middleman like a bank or a lawyer to make sure it happens. And last but not least, the famous NFT. Look, all an NFT is a digital certificate that says you own something. That's it. Think of it like this. A normal dollar bill is fungible. You can trade it for any other dollar bill. They're the same. But a dollar bill signed by your favorite celebrity, that's one of a kind. It's non-fungible. An NFT is just like that signature. It's a unique entry in that public digital notebook, the blockchain, that proves you and only you own a specific digital thing. Could be art, could be a concert ticket, could be anything. Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, right? A world where you have all this ownership and control. But you know the saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And we have to be real about this. Web3 is brand new, it's still being figured out. And that means it has its own set of dangers we absolutely have to talk about. And the stakes, they are unbelievably high. Just look at this number, $2 billion. That is how much money was lost to security problems in Web3 in just the first quarter of 2025 alone. It's a shocking amount of money. But what's even more shocking is how it was all lost.
So what's the deal here? You'd probably think these huge losses are because of some super genius hackers finding tiny flaws in complicated code, right? Well, look at the data. That's only 2% of the problem. A massive, staggering 80% of all that money was lost because of something way, way simpler. People's digital keys getting stolen, or just having weak security. Basically, people were just leaving their digital front door wide open. And this, right here, is probably the single most important thing to understand about staying safe in Web3. The biggest risk has totally shifted. It's not about the code anymore. It's about the keys. In this new world, you are your own bank. And that's amazing, but it also means you are your own head of security. Protecting your keys is literally everything. All right, I know what you might be thinking. After hearing all that about the risks, you might be feeling a little nervous. And that's totally fair. But here's the really good news. You can actually start exploring all of this safely right now without spending any money at all. So let's talk about the very first step that pretty much everyone takes.
Your first safe step is to create a digital wallet. A really popular one is called MetaMask, and it's basically your passport to the world of Web3. It's just a simple extension you add to your browser. Now, as you're setting it up, you're going to get to the most important part, so listen up. You'll be given a 12-word thing called a secret recovery phrase. You need to treat this like it's the master key to your entire online world. Seriously, write it down on a piece of paper. Not on your computer, not in a text file, on paper. And then put that paper somewhere super safe, somewhere offline. Do not ever share it with anyone, and do not lose it. It's your only backup, period.
Think of this wallet like a digital backpack. It's where you'll keep your digital identity, your stuff, anything you create or own online. But here's the beautiful part. Unlike your social media profile, you and only you have the key to this backpack. For the first time, you are completely in control. So when you strip it all away, Web3 is so much more than just a bunch of new tech. It's a huge shift in thinking. It's about going from renting our digital lives to actually owning them. And that really just leaves one big question for all of us. When you can own your own piece of the internet, what are you going to build?